She is an 8-time All-American, national champion. It's Lauren Martin joining us on Grizzly Connect. Your background as an athlete, as a runner, well known. Your dad's Damon Martin. You've had a great opportunity growing up to be around cross-country and track and field. But bring us back to your upbringing and some of those early indelible memories. What stood out growing up about events, about watching meets on TV? What do you remember the most?
I think that I was really lucky growing up because I was around the Adams State team always, and so I mean ever since I can remember I was at the national meets cheering for people. And one of the best memories that I have of like a national meet or a race that I can vividly remember is at regionals. Ruben ran really well. Ruben Way, he ran for my dad. He's from Kenya, and he ended up. They took a team retreat into the mountains that next weekend, and he actually got in a four-wheeler accident, and they like flipped on him, and he was in the hospital. So Ruben came and stayed and at our house, and we took care of him because he couldn't do anything. He couldn't do anything for himself, and so we got to the national meet, and he couldn't run, and so it was my job to make sure Ruben didn't fall on the course while he was out cheering, and that he didn't like overexert himself. And another guy, Luke Craig, he was 8th. He actually ended up running because he was 7th because Ruben came out, and he ended up was 4th runner that day and All-American. And so I guess you realize that when people are given an opportunity and they take advantage of that opportunity, how good it could be. And so I mean that happens all over, like in the professional college level. It's just cool to see somebody that never really had a chance or didn't have the right chance finally get one and do something with it.
It makes it seem so much more real what you're doing when you see those type of stories, and it's part of your childhood. It's part of your life growing up. A lot of athletes, they have success at school, and they're reminded of the past, of previous runners. It's funny, when you were winning the national championship last winter, you had comments coming in from former runners under your dad saying, I remember seeing Lauren Martin learn how to walk, and now she's winning national championships. Does that bring it all into perspective for you when you kind of see the totality of your dad and your history at Adams State?
Yeah, I think so. I think that I finally enjoyed being compared to some of those people. Yeah. Like when someone's like, oh, you run like Terry Burrell or Amy Giblin, it's just like an honor to me because they're like my idols and my heroes. And so to be compared in the same sentence is amazing.
When you were coming out of high school at Alamos, it's easy for a lot of people to know where you were and being the number 6 runner on that team, and expectations being low for Lauren coming into college. There's no way you had low expectations for yourself coming into Adams State. Take us back to that transition year. Senior year's over at Alamos, you're getting ready for Adams State, and what are you thinking about your career?
Then I was like, oh, I'm going to come in, I'm going to be top 7, that's my goal. And I definitely didn't achieve that. I was 8th, 9th, maybe some races 12th. Like I never cracked into the top 7, and that was really frustrating and hard to handle, I think, because I had always at least been top 7. I had at least been able to be on the team and travel. And so it was kind of a readjustment period. And like, I guess the biggest advice that I have for our freshmen is that you can't expect too much when you come in. Like, yeah, I mean, it's great to be good right off the bat and stuff, but it's also better to be better at the end of your career than to be like really good at the beginning and then die out. And so I'm glad that my career was that way, because I wouldn't want it any other way.
When you think about those freshmen who stress the importance of Damon Martin on their career and what they've been able to learn, you've had an entire lifetime of coaching techniques from your father and learning along the way. When you look at what some people can learn from him in 5 years and what you've been able to learn from a lifetime, how do you view that opportunity?
It's a great opportunity. This last year, he's emphasized giving us the details that we need to be good, because I feel like that's kind of what the girls team has been missing, is that we just like big picture, we want to win every year instead of like, let's take it back and figure out what we were missing and the steps that we can take to get there. And he's made a great job by making sure that we're doing everything right, down to our pace on easy days. I mean, he's just taken detail into everything to make sure that we're where we want to be at the end.
Well, it's funny because you talk to a lot of athletes who were coached by their parent, and the first thing they always say is that you want everyone else to recognize that you're not getting an easy way out, that they're not treating you any easier, but then that can lead to maybe being more critical so everybody else understands that, hey, we're all in this together.
Yeah.
What has your perspective been, especially with your brother getting ready to come through the college ranks and
Yeah.
having a perspective that nobody else can relate to?
I think the thing is I think people just have to accept that I'm his daughter. That's not going to change, no matter how they treat me about it. So as soon as they accept it and they get over it, I think it's fine because I'm just another person, and they got to understand that I'm not here to tattle on him and tell him exactly what they did on Saturday night. Like, that's not my job. At the same time, I have higher goals than I think a lot of people and higher expectations just because I've lived it.
Yeah.
And so I think it's a little different than most, but I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't run anywhere else.
Now, here's the thing with Lauren, I have to push the refresh button on her goals every time I talk to her because you accomplish so many in a year, so it's hard for me to know where your goals are at when we chat. So tell us the 2014 version of Lauren Martin's goals.
So we're looking forward to winning that team title in cross country. That is a huge goal of mine. We won the team title indoors, and there is nothing like that feeling. And even compared to that team feeling, compared to winning my individual one, it just means so much more because it takes so much more effort, and everyone has to put it in, and I can't control everyone else, and that's something I've had to learn. And so I'm really looking forward to winning that. And indoors, just being on the podium again, that'd be awesome, indoors and outdoors. So.
Hey, I have to go back to what you were saying about freshmen, that they have to understand you can't have it all right now. You need to earn and eventually deliver, and you'll get that goal and you'll have everything you want. Same can be said for a championship, that every August when you first meet, you're building towards a championship, but it doesn't come all at once. When you look at what goes into a championship over 3-4 months and all those days in Leadville or on Mount Blanc or wherever your dad takes you guys to train, what have you learned the most over that 3-4 months about what it takes to be a champion every day, to become a champion at the end of the season?
I think the biggest thing is to know that you have to just work hard. And I know that sounds cliche, whatever, but I feel like you just have to be tough and work hard, and that you have to do it on a consistent basis. Even today, I struggled with the workout and I didn't finish, and I was like, oh, this sucks, I'm gonna suck, whatever. And then I look back and I'm like, wait, I did 2 months of summer training. Why am I complaining about one day? And so, you just have to look at the overall picture and understand that one day is not going to change everything, but on a consistent basis, it will.
You can't buy perspective. You got to earn it. You got to live it. It's something that you certainly have, and it's great that you can preach it. That you're able to show these freshmen the ropes, and they can look at you and realize, hey, this is possible. I can be where she is. Lauren, we always love chatting with you. Can't wait to see you on that podium with the cross-country title this year.
Thank you.
Lauren Martin, Adams State Cross Country and Track and Field, and this is KSPK's Grizzly Connect.